one. Going live in 3, 2, 1. I don't have permission to live stream as I click to go live. Sweet Mother Mary. Well, that was fun to learn. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to record this and we're going to put it out into the ether right afterwards, which is fine.
Sounds like a plan.
Totally fine. It's gonna be okay, Dean. We're doing it live.
But I appreciate you keeping me from the fear factor. There's only two things you're born with that you're afraid of. One is falling, right? So then the other is not being on a live Zoom. So.
There you go. Well, to anybody watching, that we're gonna get this started. I'm calling this. I didn't even tell Dean. I'm calling this Texit Talks. It's
Nice.
Texit Talks.
That's what we're going to do. So it makes sense.
Texit Coin Talks, TCT, whatever. So we are going to be talking about a semi-new kind of cryptocurrency that if you're in the Texas market, you probably have already heard about it. If you're in other parts of the country, it might be but have been something that you've seen at an airport or you have friends that are getting involved in it. But we're going to really quick on our first video break down exactly what it is. And then we're going to give a little bit of update that we've got from the founder that he does a weekly Zoom call on. And we're going to give that to you guys. So for those that are new to it, we're going to explain it. And for those that maybe know a little bit and have heard, we're going to go ahead and break down exactly what is going on with Texit Coin right now. So without further ado, I've got my good friend, Dean Priest. He is a Texit Ranger, which he will explain in a little bit what that means. But first, Dean, go ahead real quick before I ask you what Texit Coin is. Introduce yourself to the audience.
Absolutely. My name is Dean Priest, and been really good friends with Anthony for a few years now. And I'm originally from Ohio. Been in Texas for 35 years, 6 kids, married, and spent the last 20 years being a finance manager. So good old fashioned, middle of the road human that is enjoying life and family.
I want to get you a t-shirt that says good old fashioned, middle of the road human.
That's right. That's right. Well, just give me a t-shirt with a circle right here because that's the tat that I had. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah.
I love it. All right, Dean. We're going to make this short and sweet for people because we will give a place. If you want to connect with Dean, we'll give a place, or I'll put the link actually right when I'm posting this. I'll put the link to his Calendly so he can do a quick 15 to 20 minute phone call to break down what this is. I'm calling it an opportunity. I know when people say that, they're like, oh, it's an opportunity. It's another sales thing. But it's one of those really cool things that's going on in the crypto space. If you've had any interest whatsoever, I've been involved with it for about 7 months now or so. And Dean, you're going on about a year, right?
No, I'm at 8 months, May. So okay. I got in early May.
So then I'm probably about 6 months then, because I think you were about 2 months in, which it made actually a little bit of a difference. But you got in at a very early time. They've been around for a year. Can you just explain to the audience what is Texit Coin?
Well, Texit Coin is, and first, one thing I do, want to make sure that we talk about just for a second. I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not giving anybody financial advice. I mean, everything you do with your money, is a risk, no matter what, whether it's a stock, a crypto, or anything. And, what we're talking about here and what I'm telling you about is what I view as an amazing opportunity. But I just want to make it real clear. I'm not giving you financial advice. I just want you to know, this project, started off, by a guy named Bobby Gray, over in McKinney, Texas. And he's been a champion of alternative, honest money for the better part of almost 20 years. The guy's testified in front of Congress. He has a good working relationship with Ron Paul. Things like that. The guy's known. He speaks a lot of places. He was finally, he was tied to that horse and buggy, gold and silver, wagon. That's what he did. He had a mint and he made the coins and he felt like he was missing the train with the crypto. And so he decided to jump into crypto and he couldn't figure out how to do it. the best way, because he'd watched people try and fail. He'd seen, I mean, we've all had the stories. For every I got rich in Bitcoin, there's the I got wiped out in something else, right?
Yeah.
So he decided to do it the way he believes, which is honest money. And let's start it from the ground. Let's do a proof of work coin, and let's crowdsource this thing, and let's do it right here in Texas. And he was amazed to find out there's not one single network cryptocurrency that's based right here in the good old USA. You know, they're spread out all over the country, all over the world. So he decided, let's make one here in Texas, and he came up with a heck of a plan, and started getting it going, and I got involved in May.
So
You got
Texit
involved in
Coin,
June.
when he created it, when he thought the process up, and you can hear all over YouTube, you can hear his full story, and he's incredibly interesting. Every time I see him, I think it's a Dane Cook, like a Temu Dane Cook. He's got but not in a bad way, Temu, but he's just kind of got that. He's gruff. He looks like him too. But anyways, if you want to learn more about him, go on YouTube, look it up, look up how he really truly came up with the idea behind Texit, and the fact that it's already been very successful in its growth path to this point. And we'll get into the current price briefly before we wrap up too, and how there is ebbs and flows. But Texit Coin, there's a couple different coins in crypto. I'm learning as I go. There's the proof of work coin, which is what Texit is, and then there is the proof of stake coin, which is a little bit shiftier. Can you explain the difference between the two and what Texit is?
So proof of stake is, let's say you and I, bud, we decide, hey, we're going to come up with Yay Sports crypto, right? And we just go ahead.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Let's start right now. Hit pause, baby. No, seriously. You all of a sudden you make, boom, out of thin air, you make 1 billion coins. Well, then you and I, we pull together a few $1,000,000, and we go hire some influencers to talk about it. We go sign a deal with Coinbase and Kraken to put half of those coins on there, and get them selling, and everybody's talking about it. And then we watch that coin price go from a penny to 50 cents to $1 to $2. Now it's getting all the traffic, right? Well, then you and I take that 500 million coins we didn't circulate, dump them, we ride off into the sunset with $500 million, and everybody else is left holding the bag.
That's called a rug pull, correct?
That's called a rug pull. That is now, don't get me wrong, there are some proof of stake coins that have some power, that are decent opportunities. But they're just created out of thin air. There's no work involved in making that coin. Okay. Proof of work coin, which is what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin started it. That's why they call Bitcoin the OG, right? It started, and what proof of work means is you start building a network, and there's no pre-mined coins. The network starts producing those coins every day. You have an algorithm that sets it up. So every day it's going to produce a certain amount of coins. Okay. And what that does for most proof of work coins is it gives it a rare, there's not as many coins as there are, there's 1 billion right here in the proof of stake. And it's actually built off a network. And that's where, like Ethereum has a super powerful network. That's why they're up to over $3,000-$4,000 usually a coin, is because their network is trusted. People build off the network. They use the network for their transactions, and these transaction fees and the cost of being on these networks is what generates revenue and drives the value of that coin. And
so, Texit is a proof of work coin. So
we are a proof of work coin.
How does Texit work?
Okay, so essentially what we're doing is we're building a mine. Okay, so which is another word for network. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to have a 100 million mega hash network. Okay, which is very powerful and cannot be ignored in the crypto world. Okay, so as we're building the mine, where we made the decision, well, Bobby made the decision when he came up with the idea that we're going to crowdsource this thing. So instead of going out and finding a BlackRock or a big bank to invest and give us $100 million, so we can do this, we decided let's have honest money. Let's take a whole bunch of people that are like, you know what, I want to be involved in something like this. I want to have an opportunity. Let's build this together. And then everybody gets to reap the rewards, not just a bank or a big company.
So when you say build it together, because this is why the initial conversation we had, I'm like, what do you mean? I mean, I'm always down to clown when it comes to a little bit of crypto and figure out stuff. So when I got involved,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't just buy a bunch of coins. I bought what is known as a mine, and I
Correct.
have my own 100 hash power mine, which I think to a lot of people that maybe are new to crypto or maybe not understand proof of work or whatever, what is a mine?
So most anybody that knows a little bit about crypto kind of knows what that means. People right now they try to buy computers to mine Bitcoin, right? Let's get a free Bitcoin, right? Most people wait until the coin is everybody knows about it and has value. Then they try to spend money on equipment and in hopes of getting coins mined, so they get make a profit. We mine the coin. So as a miner, when you buy a mine, when you help crowdsource this project, you're getting Texit Coin as reward every single day put into your crypto wallet. Okay. And what that does is, so you're making money every day that you're a miner. Okay. For as long as the mine is programmed to run. And this particular mine is programmed for 135 years, I think. So as long as you own the mine and it's yours, you buy it, it's yours. You can sell it, you can leave it in your will, you can give it as a gift. Okay, but that mine every single day is going to put coins in your crypto wallet. And it's a passive income. And the longer the project goes, and the more sustainable that it goes, then that money grows and grows and grows. Okay. And that's really the beauty of it, is by mining. It's like the difference between the golden egg and the goose that lays the golden egg, right? So if the cryptocurrency is the golden egg, the mine is the goose. Okay, that every day produces those golden eggs. Okay. And that's what it is.
So when you and by the way, because we were talking about proof of work coin, so this is a proof of work coin, as well as, if you're wondering, Bitcoin is a proof of work proof of work coin. Litecoin is, Ethereum is. These are proof of work coins, correct? Including Doge, you
Right.
said,
So
right?
yeah, your proof of work coins, you got your Bitcoin, you got Ethereum, you've got let's see, where's the others?
Litecoin.
Litecoin, Dogecoin, um, the hang on, I'm actually going on here so I can read them.
No, you're
Yeah,
good.
Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Monero, Litecoin, Caspa. There's only about 12 or 13 that are on uh, your exchanges. And the reason is because it's hard work. It's hard work to build the mine. Anybody can create a coin and then spend a little money to market it, but it costs real money to buy this equipment. It costs real money to pay these electric bills and to buy the sites. And roll up your sleeves and do the actual work. And that's one of the reasons why there's not as many of the proof of work coins, because it is hard work. It takes time. It's not the get rich quick scheme.
Yeah.
It's you're building something, and then you get the reward after it's built. So that is why it's tougher to find a proof of work coin, but the ones you find are all the successful ones, all the ones you've heard about.
Yeah.
Okay, that have had sustainability.
So to get involved, the way that you got me involved is
Mm-hmm.
you go, hey, buy a mine. So they're still, it's $995. That's one mine.
Yeah. Yep.
And you could buy up to, you max out at 9, but you also get some by sharing the project with people. So it is set up in that sense because it is a crowd-funded mine. So when I spend $1,000, it's not like I have $1,000 in coin value at all. It starts at 0. I start to build my coins. So if somebody wants to get involved, How does that, I know I kind of gave the basics, but how does that work?
It's just as easy as you just said. I mean, you want to get involved, you buy a mine, you buy one, dip your toe in, buy nine, which gives you 3 tracking centers, something we'll go into another time. But and every day that each mine produces Texit coins. Now, right now, the Texit coin is producing about a half a coin per mine per day, and each mine is 100 mega hash of mining power. All right. Now that's an important number because that means there's only 1 million mines. Okay. Which sounds like a big number, right? Everybody's like, oh, $1 million sounds like a lot of money. But realistically, when you're talking about the grand scheme, 1 million is not a big number. You've got 100 million mega hash mine is what we're going to build. And here's the key component, and to me, once all of those mines are sold, and we call it seats on the rocket ship, right? Because we believe this thing's going to blow up and it's going to be just huge one day. And once those 1 million spots are sold, no one else can ever buy a mine again unless they buy it from one of us, one of the miners that already has it, right? So that is the other reason that it's such a big deal, in my opinion, is the short window of opportunity to actually get on board. With every other crypto that you can go out there and try to mine, you can buy the computers and try and do it any time. With this, there is a finite number. There's going to be 1 million of them, and that's it. And right now, the average miner has 5 mines. Okay. And so it's going to give us a full crowdsourcing community of between 200 and 250,000 folks that are actually going to be the miners, is what is expected.
And in a worst case situation, not a worst case, but once the mine is full of people, it still will be mining, I believe, if this is accurate, a tenth of a coin per day.
Correct. For each 100 mega hash.
For each mine, for each 100 mega hash.
Correct.
So that's 0.1 coin a day, which the value of a coin today is just over $2. But
correct.
There's as it fills up, based on common math, not common core math, but common math, it will obviously the price will go up. There is some estimates that have it going very high. There's safe estimates that have it going $15, $16 relatively soon. So at that point, even as time goes for the next 130 years, 160 years?
35 years.
So for 135 years, when it's totally full, you will be getting 0.1 coin a day. So even if the coin sits at $2 forever, you're still getting what is the equivalent of 20 cents per mine, which is ridiculously low. I understand that, and not the way that it's set up. But in a worst case situation, it's pumping something out of value every day for the next for the next
135 years.
135 years. That's pretty impressive. So that's kind of where it is. Two things before we're done. I want you to really quick explain what you are as a Texit Ranger, and then we'll get into whatever updates Bobby had on last night's call. For those that are already they already know what's going on a little bit and want to know a little bit more and all right, am I going to jump in? Am I not? Etc. So first off, what is a Texit Ranger, Dean?
Texit Ranger, quite simply, is somebody that has gotten into the project, has really looked at it and said, you know what, this is amazing opportunity, shares it with other folks, helps other people, trains other people, shows them. People get scared about crypto. Crypto's only been around 15 years, and people, it's when you start using terms like on-ramping and off-ramping and all the different things that you have to do to monetize. So you get your Texit coin every day. Well, what do you do with it? What if you want some money? Well, a lot of people don't know how, So as Rangers, we're just there. I'm answering my phone emails all the time, talking to people about, well, hey, this is all you need to do, and they'll call and ask me questions like, okay, hey, should I right now, buy more mines? Should I buy more coins? You're just there to help the people that got involved, and talk to them about it. I hold dinners. I flew up to Toledo, Ohio, because that's where I'm originally from, and some of my friends got involved there. I flew up. I'll buy 10, 12, 15 people dinner. Just tell them about it. Okay, if they sign up, the thing is, I never ask them to sign up. I ask them just to listen to what we're doing and make a decision. You know what I mean? Because I see it, and I think other people see it too. You know, when I got in, I was miner number 4,067. And we are now up to over 55,000 miners. And it's just 6 months later,
What number
right?
were you?
I was 4067.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
funny part, and this just to tell you just how much you know, believe in this project. And you know this really well, actually. You know, I had a great job for 20 years. You know, made a very sound living. You know, I mean, the whole 9 yards. I believed in this project so much. I retired from that November 1st, and I just do this. I just talk to people about Texit Coin. I help teach them how to utilize the coins, how to plan, you know, for the future of what's going on with our program. And I got to tell you, no matter what price does right now, up, down, the roller coaster, you know, that's crypto. You know, that's half the fun, you know. It may scare people sometimes, right?
yeah.
But and I get that. Okay. People were scared to death when GM, remember, went down to $1, you know, 10 years ago, whatever it
Yep.
was. Um, but so as a Texit Ranger, literally, I'm just there to help and to explain and tell people about it. And
And
and,
if I
and I
have any issues, Dean's the first one. Like if I'm like, not when I say issues, I'm like, I don't know how to what a cold storage coin. I don't know how to do a. He's the first, like that's what his job is now. He will hop on the
yeah,
phone and he will walk people through it as whatever questions you have. So
yeah, but I mean, you know, a lot of people think, oh, so you're just selling these mines and helping crowdsource it, and I'm like, that's like 2% of what I do. You
right.
know, the rest of the time, I'm literally just trying to educate people on how to do it because I didn't know. But I sat down and we joked about this over breakfast a couple few weeks ago, and it joked about I didn't know a thing about it. I forced myself to learn it because I was just passionate about it and believed in the project. And I'm like, well, I better learn this because otherwise I'm only really stupid if I tell people, hey, no, jump on board. Well, how do you get some money back? Ah, who cares? No, that doesn't work. You know.
What's really funny is this is Dean's first computer outside of like his employment. So we had to he is so he has been able to do all his what he has done with Texit only through his mobile device, which
Right
I
here,
find
baby. That's my tool.
fascinating. When it comes to crypto and stuff, like I'll do stuff on my phone, but I have to do it from the safety of my laptop. But it is a very easy process once you just get
Yes,
quickly into it. Um,
absolutely.
I forget. So when's your next dinner that you are having? And this is obviously more for people in the Texas area.
Yeah.
But if you're in the Texas area, explain how can people fight to get on that list for your next? You do it weekly now, right? You're doing a weekly dinner.
Yeah, so I'm doing Thursdays. I'm not doing this Thursday because we had some stuff going on.
Okay.
But next Thursday, and I'm doing it at my favorite barbecue joint called the Patriotic Pig in North Richland Hills, Texas. You know, I do it on Thursdays, and people are welcome to come over around 6 o'clock. You know, I buy you dinner and I just explain it to you. You know, there's going to be people there that are already signed up. And we're just there to explain what the project is. Okay. And it really is an opportunity that we believe in enough to just take you to dinner and tell you about it and then let you make a decision. But understand that if you make the decision to join, we're going to be there to help you all the way through. You know, and that's and it really is a good time. You know, we get together, we laugh, we joke, you know, we talk about stuff. Because who's not having a good time if you're not talking about cryptocurrencies and mega hash, right? I mean,
And
it's
barbecue sauce. And
and
barbecue
barbecue
sauce.
sauce. Yeah, you got to get that on the coin.
What's the and we'll end it with updates, but
Yeah.
what's the method to get on that list? Because just in case too many people show up, or should we have them? We forgot to talk about. I forgot to talk about this before we went on. How do
Right.
we get added to that list? How does
No,
somebody?
just reach out to me. Whether it's through Facebook or if you want to give me a call, just let me know. And because once I've got about 15 people, because it's I still want you to be able to communicate with me. We want to be able to communicate back and forth. You start getting over 15 people, it's a little tougher to really answer everybody's questions. It's, and so that's, just touch base with me. You can either hit me up on Facebook. You can, heck, shoot me a text, 682-203-2463, same number I've had for 25 years.
All right. I will put
And
that. I'll put that below. And I'll also put, maybe we'll do an email. It'll be in the comments. If you're watching now, it'll
yeah.
be in the comments, because this isn't live because we had a little Zoom issue. But anyways, we'll put that in the comments below. All right.
I do appreciate you giving me the heads up that you were going to let everybody in the world know that I didn't have a computer for 20 years.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, you used a computer at work. You just didn't
I
have
did.
your
I
own
did.
personal. You
Right.
didn't have a PC, a personal computer.
No, for no reason.
No. All right. Give some updates, and then we'll wrap this up.
All right. So updates. Right now we're up to 21% of the mines sold. Right. So we've still got 79% that's available. That is so early. And that's what we were talking about. Is imagine getting into Bitcoin when there was only 21% of the people in, or imagine getting into Apple when the company was only 21% of the size it is now. So just such an opportunity. We've got a bunch of things. We just did update. We were just the second largest sponsor of the Dallas Christmas Parade, and it was awesome. They actually interviewed some of our Rangers on Channel 8, here in the DFW area, because TEXIT Coin saved Christmas. They came in and did they didn't have a sponsor to pay for getting all the floats and balloons done and getting all the lights moved and everything. And to have the big dualies to pull all the floats. And so TEXIT Coin jumped in and did that. And that's what's really great. This is an update, but also just another way for me to tell you, why I love the project. The things we do for the community, we're being out there actually doing things like this. We're doing a community. We talked to us the update. You've heard about the G2 racetracks, right? And we're doing the party up there. Well, we actually are paying for a bunch of different police stations and patrol officers to take the training on the high-speed track to teach them how to handle high-speed pursuits, and there wasn't enough in the budget to cover that training. So Bobby said, "Hey, we'll do it. You know what I mean? Let us sponsor it for you." We're friends with everybody that's helping. And what I mean by helping is, your firefighters, your police, your first responders. Well, we'll throw money at that. And that's what's neat is we take what we're doing and the success we're having in this amazing community of over 55,000 people now already. And we're just trying to we want good, honest money that's community driven and that everybody is excited about. But it's not just about making a bunch of money. It's also about being pillars in the community and actually doing things that are good for a change, not just making a profit. And profit's important. Don't get me wrong. Profit is not a sin in my Bible, or anybody's Bible that I know of. But actually going out doing these things. We just did a big food drive at our last G2 last week. We're going to do 12 of them. So it's really neat getting these updates every week with Bobby. He's the founder. Every Tuesday he gets with us, does a Zoom. He's there every day, and he answers every question, good or bad. Because of course there's naysayers. It's crypto. There's always going to be people out there going, this is a scam, or this is, what I mean. And he'll answer the questions. He's right there, and he talks to you and lets you know what's going on. But right now,
an important question, and I'll probably ask this a bunch. And I think that anybody that does this will see something like, all right, the big question is, we're sponsoring these events. What is and again, marketing is good. Marketing is marketing, but how are these relationships? How does Bobby talk about these relationships being mutually beneficial instead of just, obviously good for the heart, good for the soul, but there is a bottom line in crypto. So how is this helping grow the mine of Texit and grow the value?
So, of course it's you want, the more people see your name, the more people see your name in a positive light. When you see TEXIT Coin, at the parade, and I saw their trucks were pulling all the floats, TEXIT Coin, you want your name out there, and you want it associated with positivity. I'll never be a believer. I know some people are that, any and all um uh what's the term, you're going to know
Leads.
it, and I'm any press is good
Oh,
press,
and yeah.
right? Yeah, right. And no, and that's not what we want. We want to be out in the community helping. And when you have a product, a project that is out there, it's honest money, you're seeing it everywhere. You're not hearing anything really negative from anybody that is involved. You just hear the naysayers on the outside, right? Um, that's something you want to be a part of. And when people want to be a part of it, then they want to utilize the coin. They want to be a part of it, whether they're buying the coin, whether they're becoming a miner, whether they're going to the events. It's just putting us out there to build the community and let people know it's about honest money. We're here for the long haul, and it's generational. And that is what we are trying to build. And there's just not a lot of things you can get into like that. And that's what really was attractive to me. I
I
mean,
love it.
all my kids have minds.
I love it. And the money, so, and the money that is being spent on that is actually directly coming from the mine, correct?
Well, it's all from the crowdfunding. Where you're buying in. Every mine is $9.95. Unless you earn them, right? You can get them for free.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that I really want to say real quick. I totally
Go for it.
forgot about is, and you made mention of it. You can only buy $9,000 worth, right? So you can buy 9 mines. The only other way to get more mines is to tell people about it, and will give you free mines. There's bonuses and stuff like that. And the reason for that is so no big billionaire or big bank, big company can come in and just buy it all up. You know how it is. These people, they start these big Black Rocks and all these big money organizations. They smell something good and they're like, man, we're going to buy it up. Well, then they control it and they make all the money, right? That's the other thing that's awesome about it is we want it to be just a bunch of folks like you and I, like the folks listening right now, or will be, because remember it's not live. But it's we want it to be all of us that are involved, and that really to me is very important. That it's not something that can be taken over by just some corporate entity that sees, hey, this is going to really make a lot of money. This is something we want to be a part of. They can't just come in and buy out the mine. Okay,
Yeah.
and that's really important.
It's perfect. I think that's enough for today. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Let's if you've got any final words for him, Dean, and as a reminder, I'll wrap it. I'll wrap it at the end real fast. But if you want to reach out to Dean, if you want to actually book a call with him, that Calendly link will be in the description right now. If you are local to Texas and you may want to go to that dinner, who doesn't love a little free barbecue? His contact will be there. Just make sure you RSVP so he knows how many people are coming. Super simple, free food. Get to talk a little bit about TEXIT Coin and also be at least be a part of the community for a night, if not for a longer period of time. Any final words, Dean?
Anthony, thank you, brother. I appreciate you having the same kind of interest, that I have, in this project. It really is just a great project that I really strongly believe in. And I just want to let people know, man, come on board, get on the rocket ship. Let's have a great time and let's do this thing with honest money together. And let's sit back and really giggle about it in 4 or 5 years.
I love it. All right. That's what we got for you guys. Again, we'll be doing these probably around weekly or bi-weekly where we give a little bit of updates on the project as a whole. We'll do probably a quicker version of the intro because we've seen it once. We can have people reference it in the, any of our previous videos. I'm putting this up on the Truth Will Set You Free page. Dean's got it on his personal Facebook. It's all over. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. I would say in the comments, it's hard. We may not look at it. So in the actual description of the video, that's the best way to find Dean and get any questions you might have on Texit answered. Again, it's a very unique new project. It's still very, very young. And there is a projected path to make at least some good side money, or like I think an extra couple grand a year is life-changing for a lot of people. That's what I got for you guys. I appreciate you and thank you for joining, and have a fantastic